Hi, this is JP Morgan. Today on the Slanted Lens, we're going to show you how to make a beadboard reflector. These things are fabulous. They've been using these on set in Hollywood forever. You need to learn how to make one of these. They're easy to make, but they're really effective. They give a really sweet, soft light. They're indestructible. I mean, they're indestructible. You see? They're indestructible. You cannot break these things. But when you're done and you fold them, you can wrap them with tape. Just wrap them with tape. Wrap them up. Wrap them up, wrap them with tape, and you got a reflector, just like that. There's nothing to it. So let's get started, see what we can do. I've got a bead foam here. This is a 3/4 inch bead foam. It already comes with a pretty strong silver reflector on the back of it. Actually, to avoid cutting, you're going to go to Home Depot and you're going to buy these in 2 foot by 4 foot pieces, already pre-cut. And you can just stick them together. I was not smart enough to do that, so I'm going to have to cut this big 4 foot by 8 foot sheet into pieces. But I'm going to make my reflector a little bit wider. This is a reflector that I will definitely keep on the truck and use because it's a white bead foam. The bead foam kind of breaks up that white surface, so it's a little softer. It's a gorgeous light when you bounce a light into it, onto someone's face. Just a pretty reflector. So let's cut this down, see what we got. Basically, this is insulation. It's like you put it on the tops of decks and things before the actual plywood goes on top, just to give you a little bit of insulation. This has got blue on one side, which is problematic. Blue is not good. It's going to kick a little blue into your highlights. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half, and we're going to have bead foam everywhere. Okay, so now I've got my 3/4 inch bead foam. I've got a really nice reflector, silver reflector on one side, and I've got a nice white on the other side. So I'm going to take them so they're a little more stable. I'm going to put the 2 blue sides in, and I'm going to peel this surface off. Do whatever you want with that. So now I've got something that's going to be 1.5 inches thick. I'm going to take my Roscoe gaff tape and I'm going to tape this together. I'm going to get Spencer to help me. So there you have it. I've taken a sheet of 4x8 styrofoam insulation, cut it in half. We've got a nice silver side on one side to give you a nice silver reflection. Got a nice soft bead foam on the other side. It gives a really beautiful light as you bounce lights off from that or bounce the sun off from it. Then we took tape and wrapped the tape all the way around it so that you're not going to get the bead foam bleeding and shedding on everything. This gives you a really nice 4 foot by 4 foot reflector. Now again, this is pretty big. You're not going to get a 4 foot by 4 foot reflector in your car very easily, but they have 2 foot by 3 foot or 2 foot by 4 foot pieces of these. You can tape 2 of them together and you've got yourself a smaller reflector that'll go in your car. Makes it very easy to work with. What's nice about these is they're really rigid. They give you just a nice board. You can use different clamps and you can work with them very easily. So the cost on this, it's under $8. It was like $7.80 for a 3/4 inch sheet. They do have an 1.5 inch sheet that's more like $10. I have a sheet of that here as well, but it's got the blue on the one side. You either got to spray it white, which makes it a harder white. You don't get that nice bead foam look. I think this is the best solution. Get a 3/4 inch sheet, cut it in half, or get the smaller pieces, tape them together. You got a silver side, you got a white side, under $10 and a little bit of tape. You don't have to use gaff tape. You can use any kind of a duct tape. Doesn't matter what color this is. It's just going to hold it together and make it so you don't have the edges shedding all the time and have foam falling all over the place. So great reflector right there. So here's a 4 foot by 8 foot sheet of that same styrofoam insulation that you use on the roof. These all have this kind of paper on the back. Somebody's going to go, well, why don't you just peel that off? The problem is when you peel it off, it leaves a ton of this stuff. And you've either got to paint it or rub it off. It just doesn't work very well. You're much better off to use a 3/4 inch piece, cut it, tape them together, got a nice white side, silver side, because that silver peels off so easily. So just a better solution. They're both 1.5 inches thick, which makes them very rigid. The only thing I probably would have done differently on mine when I put it together is I probably would have sprayed that 77 spray, really stuck it together, and that's going to give it more rigidity. So you really get a 4 foot by 4 foot or a 4 foot by 2 foot. Get a great reflector. It's going to be very hard. So there's the reason we don't use the 1.5 inch, 4 foot by 8 foot. So there you have it, how to make a beadboard reflector. It's not hard, you cut, you tape, you got a reflector. Not a hard thing to do. So if you want to learn more about reflectors, go to theslanttedlens.com/reflectors, and I'm going to share with you my other favorite tips and tricks. Not only how to make reflectors, and there's at least 5 or 6 others I'll show you how to make, but also how to use them properly. I'll show you my techniques on how to hold a reflector to get the most out of it in dim light, the least out of it in hard light. I'm going to teach you at least in 12 different lighting setups, different ways to use reflectors and make a simple outdoor shot with one reflector look fabulous. So go to theslanttedlens.com/reflectors and get your download there. Giveaways are back on the Slanted Lens. We're giving away a 150 to 600 millimeter lens. So go to theslanttedlens.com and sign up for the giveaway. Hey, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, say hi in the grocery store, man. In fact, I can't wait to see you at Photo Plus in New York City. And don't forget our webpage, theslanttedlens.com. New lessons in the member section every month, exclusive only to that webpage. And what are we doing this month? We're giving away a 150 to 600 millimeter Tamron lens. Don't miss out on that. Don't miss out on anything we're doing. We're doing it across all those platforms, so check it out.